Welcome to Show Pop. I'm Dee, and I break down the dynamics behind the shows we love to watch. Today, we're talking episode 4 of I Love LA. On the surface, this episode seems like it was about a few friends going to an influencer party, but it was much deeper than that. Below the surface, this episode revolves around the tension between authentic identity and performative ambition. There's a lot to unpack, so let's get straight to it. Grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's talk. Here we go. I'm excited to discuss this episode today. It was a rich episode with a lot of nuance and intricacies. The writers did a really excellent job in this episode. So to really see the depth of this episode, I have to approach this breakdown in a unique way. I'm going to break this down by theme, then touch on things in the episode I feel should be noted. Let's start with fame as social currency. This episode treats fame like a hierarchy system. Everyone behaves differently around perceived status. Tallulah is starstruck by Quen. Charlie instantly becomes more interested in Lucas once he learns he's famous. Maia desperately wants inclusion in influencer spaces. Alani becomes infatuated with proximity to Elijah Wood, and Quen herself operates like a gatekeeper controlling access to success. Okay, you guys, if you hear some ambient noise, that's because I'm in a temporary setup in San Diego and I'm right on the water. So you might hear some crows or street cars, bikes, and stuff. Just bear with me, okay? Hopefully it's cool or peaceful if you hear it and not distracting. Okay, as I was saying about fame as social currency, the party environment fosters social climbing, desperation for validation, blurred boundaries, and identity performance. What we saw in this episode was people are no longer networking because they genuinely connect. They network because visibility is survival. So let's talk about the parasocial relationships and imagined intimacy that are present throughout the episode. This is one of the strongest themes in the episode. For instance, consider Tallulah and Quen. Tallulah mistakes online engagement, mutual followers, likes and comments, and influencer familiarity for genuine friendship. She repeatedly calls Quen her best friend before they've truly spent any time together. Maia, on the other hand, understands the distinction much better. She understands that internet closeness does not equal real intimacy. That being said, ironically, Maia herself also struggles with emotional security and validation. Let me give you some examples. For instance, remember the scene where when Quen grabs Tallulah to introduce her to Naomi. And Maia asks Quen if she should meet her too, and Quen never turns her an answer. She just grabs Tallulah and takes her. So while Maia understands the distinction between real and manufactured intimacy, she still wants to feel part of the in group. The episode critiques modern influencer culture tendency to confuse audience intimacy, algorithmic familiarity, and actual emotional connection. Quen understands this dynamic far better than Tallulah does, and she weaponizes it. Okay. Also, if you hear some snoring in the background, that is my friend's bulldog. And I'm so sorry he's sleeping. So I'm just doing the best I can, you guys. Soon I'm going to have my be in a permanent place again and have a really good setup. So just bear with me if you notice my videos haven't been as clean as before. I'm just going through a transition right now, but I think when I get settled, things will be much, much better. Okay. Okay. So I don't know if I said this earlier, but I want to move on to the theme of transactional relationships. Almost every interaction contains an underlying exchange in this episode. Here are some examples. Maia manages Tallulah partly for status and access. I'm sure we've noticed that by now as we've been watching the episodes, right? That's really important to her. Quen collaborates only if the content meets her standards. Didn't we notice how many times she made Tallulah do it over and over again, change outfits, tell her it wasn't, clean enough, the acting wasn't good enough, it need to be tighter. So keep that in mind. Charlie attaches himself to Lucas once Vegas opportunities appear. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Charlie later. I have a whole write up on him. But was that not crazy how he flipped when he found out he wasn't gay? First he flirted with him. Then when he realized, okay, this isn't going to end up being something sexual. Can I say sexual on here? I don't know. It's not going to end up being something sexual. Then he disengaged, didn't want anything to do with him. Then when he found out that he was a famous Christian, Mr. Lucas was a famous Christian singer, he all of a sudden perked back up. That was insane. Okay. Alani's fascination with Elijah quickly becomes sexualized fantasy. Tallulah tolerates mistreatment because Quen can elevate her career. Did you guys pick that up? Did you guys notice how she was tolerating mistreatment? Okay. That's a whole nother thing. I don't even know if I'm going to get deeper into that or if I'm going to write about it, but let's move on. Relationships in this episode are evaluated based on usefulness. Well, not even just this episode, the entire season so far, the entire show. In this entire show, relationships are evaluated on usefulness, exposure, influence, opportunity, and social capital. Very little in this episode feels emotionally grounded or genuine. All right, let's talk about control versus spontaneity. This theme appears most strongly throughout the episode. For instance, consider again Quen and Tallulah. Tallulah represents spontaneity, imperfection, personality driven content, and emotional authenticity. Remember the scene where they're having the chat and Tallulah is telling Quen that she likes to be spontaneous. She doesn't want to have to plan everything out. I can't remember if that was when they were in the click farm or if that was before then, but she was telling her, that manufacturing things wasn't really her style. Okay. However, Quen represents optimization, production, analytics, strategy, perfectionism, and industrialized influencing. This culminates in the Click Farm reveal. Remember that scene? Huge scene. Well, not huge scene, but the symbolism, it's the culmination of the episode, if you will, right? The Click Farm room is symbolic because influencer culture is not nearly as organic as audiences believe. It reframes the entire influencer ecosystem as manufactured, algorithmically engineered, data driven, and psychologically manipulative. Quen's warning is important. She said to Tallulah, "If you stop, you disappear." That line captures the psychological horror of influencer culture. It is constant output, fear of irrelevance, identity tied to visibility, and burnout disguised as ambition. Quen and Tallulah represent the tension between authenticity and performance. Okay. Oh, it was a really good episode. What did you guys think? I'm actually surprised by how much I'm enjoying the show. I'm not one like in their age group really. I'm a little, just a tiny bit older. than who they're portraying, right? And so I didn't think I would have anything to get from the show or have anything in common with the characters, but I do. And I absolutely love watching it and like pulling out the intricacies of these episodes and the character development and the really, really good writing and then just talking about it. So if anybody is into the show, watching the show right now, leave a comment, okay? Leave a comment and tell me how you're enjoying it and what you think. And if you are, watching the episode and then checking out my videos. Thank you for watching. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit more about Quinn's behavior profile in this episode. She represents optimization over humanity, productivity over spontaneity, strategic image construction, emotional detachment, and industrialized creativity. The click farm room is crucial symbolism because it destroys the illusion that influencer success is purely organic talent. Quinn's worldview is everything is scalable, measured, engineered, and disposable, including people. Did you guys kind of pick up on that in the episode? And I don't know, she never even genuinely seemed nice or seemed like she was interested in a friendship with Tallulah. I almost all from the writing of her character and the way, the actress did a great job, by the way. I can't remember her name. I was just looking at her up earlier. But how she was carried out and the way that they wrote her, she didn't even seem like she was open to a friendship with Tallulah. It was always about what can I get from her? How does she increase my value? You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So never once did she really seem, I mean, she did play it in the beginning really good, like, oh, let's, have some champagne. And, then they smoked with Naomi. And so it's like, okay, they're warming you up. But really the intention is something totally different, right? That's the train. I hope you can't hear it. It's a lot of, I'm downtown San Diego, so it's a lot going on over here, but it's nice. So, yes, I did clock that and then noticed how she was treating Tallulah and kind of treating her like an employee. I feel like she was treating her worse than an employee. I feel like she was treating her, shoot, people treat dogs better, to be honest with you. Just working her, Tallulah kept saying she was hungry. Anyway, I think I do talk about that. Or do I? Let me see. No. So, okay. No. So let me get on it now. I don't talk about it moving forward. But Tallulah constantly says okay, it wasn't constant, but I think at least 3 times in the episode, Tallulah mentioned she wants some shrimp. Therefore, she's hungry, right? And at first, Naomi was like, yeah, let's go do this video and then we're going to get you some shrimp. Then, as they're working on the video and they take a break to kind of look at the images and see what the content looked like, Tallulah mentions it again. And then Naomi says, oh, I never said there was any shrimp. Played with her. I mean, that was something else. In other words, I lured you here. Okay, how do I say this? Yeah, I guess that's what I want to say. She lured her to do really free work because she's not going to get paid for it, but she could get some more. She Tallulah knows that she can get exposure from being on Quinn's TikTok. So, but she's not getting paid for that. It's supposed to be mutually beneficial, right? But she's working for free and she's hungry. And I'm going to use your weakness in the moment to get you to do something for me. It was interesting. It was interesting. Okay, you guys tell me what you think. Did I break that down or no? Okay. So Quinn doesn't care. Her worldview, everything is disposable, including people. And that's why we saw her treating Tallulah like a commodity rather than a human being. Okay, so before I wrap this up, I want to talk about Charlie because I feel like his actions in this episode deserve mention. Okay? In this episode, Charlie was opportunistic, socially adaptive, validation seeking, fame oriented, and impulsive. Charlie appeared deeply attracted to proximity to status, celebrity culture, and influential people. Hence, what happened with Lucas, right? He realized that Lucas was not a homosexual. He became dismissive. He became put off. He didn't want nothing to do with him. Then he learned that he was a famous Christian singer. Okay. That's when his interest noticeably intensifies when he finds out that Lucas is a famous, successful, and connected singer. The Vegas residency instantly activates Charlie's opportunism and charm. The interesting contrast is Lucas interprets Charlie's flirtation through misunderstanding, emotional openness, and religious friendliness. Meanwhile, Charlie interprets Lucas through access, possibility, and social opportunity. So their interaction is built on mutual misreading. That was really interesting, right? How they wrote that in there. Lucas thought one thing, Charlie thought another thing, but then Charlie realizes that the interaction is not a waste of time. It's actually could have value if he pivots himself the right way. What did you guys think about that little thing with Charlie? Did that rub you the wrong way, or were you like, go, Charlie, go? I personally feel like I didn't like Charlie's move in that scene. I think if you didn't get what you were after, which to me was sex, Charlie wanted to sleep with Lucas, I believe, based on the writing, right? But you didn't get that. So instead, you decide to, be dismissive. You don't want anything to do with them. Ugh, waste of time, right? Then you see an opportunity, and then you move in on that opportunity. I don't know. I feel like it's, well, what we just said, right? Opportunistic. But it shows that, to me, a deeper thing of, like, you use people. You see their usefulness. You're not around people for genuine connection. And that's what I think the whole, like, Charlie writing and uh the whole purpose of that piece and scenes and writing with Charlie and Lucas was about. So that was really, really, I really enjoyed this episode, you guys. Seriously, it was really good. Okay. So let's bring everything together. This episode ultimately shows how influencer culture blurs the lines between authenticity and performance, turning friendship, intimacy, and even identity into something transactional and strategic. Beneath the glamorous party atmosphere, episode 4 reveals a group of people desperately chasing visibility, validation, and belonging in a world where disappearing feels just as terrifying as failure. What did you think about the interaction between Tallulah and Quen? How did Charlie's opportunistic behavior make you feel? What did you think about Elijah Wood's reaction to Maia and Alani trying to have a threesome with him? I plan on writing a few pieces based on this, based on what I just said and the things that took place in the episode, the other stuff I didn't discuss. So, like I said, including the Elijah Wood situation. So be on the lookout for a Substack link in the channel description in the near future, okay? I haven't set it up yet, but it'll be under the same name, Show Pop, with the same logo. So just keep checking the channel description for Show Pop, and you'll eventually see it if you like written content. I also have a Tumblr for this channel, so just check it out. It's also, I think it's Show Pop or Show Pop 1. So if you like written content, definitely follow Showpop on Tumblr and be on the lookout for the Substack. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Enjoy the outro music, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.